what's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode of Motive2Change, episode 4.
Hey.
We got Josh.
Carine.
And we got Matthew here.
We do want to apologize for our absence over the last 2 weeks.
I am very sorry. I was actually really sick and probably wouldn't have been good to do this.
Yeah, she didn't really have a voice, and then the other week she was coughing, and it wouldn't have been good. So we decided to take 2 weeks off, let her be healthy. You know, one of the weeks was Easter anyway, so we spent it with our families.
Yeah, we were all recovering from sugar comas, so that's why we couldn't really do a show that week.
Yeah, so we do apologize for the lack of episodes over the last 2 weeks. We will make it up to you eventually when we catch up to recording episodes.
Oh, yeah.
But to make it up to you in the moment, we have a pretty heavy topic for you guys today.
Very heavy.
And as you can guess by the title, it is self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question to you guys is, what exactly is self-worth?
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, it's subjective to everybody because everybody has their own definition of what self-worth is. I can only go by what I think self-worth is, and I think self-worth is trying to find the inner good in yourself and trying to embrace it as best you can and holding true to what you believe in so that you don't let anybody else tell you how to feel, how to act.
Okay. What about you, Carine?
Well, I believe that self-worth is just really loving yourself, finding that piece of yourself, well, all of you actually, but just loving yourself for who you are and not letting what other people say or do affect how you feel about yourself. So yeah, just technically loving yourself. What about you, Josh?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it simply.
All right, then.
Self-worth is how you feel about yourself.
Mm.
Could be negative, could be positive, could be a mixture of both, which it most likely is, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's simply how you feel about yourself.
I was just looking positively for my definition, but...
Sometimes the world is not positive, though.
Very true, very true.
I would say that most of the time we tend to focus on the negative anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of feel that most of our viewers are going to be in the negative if they're watching this show.
Yep.
We hope you're not, but if you are, that's fine.
Yeah, later on in the show, we're going to give you some strategies that we use to kind of boost ourselves up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we're going to talk about self-worth. And how do you guys feel about yourselves? Be honest.
I actually... Oh, you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, I actually am one of those people who think negatively about myself. So all that positive stuff I just said, I don't listen to my own advice, just so y'all know. But I don't think very highly of myself. I'd rather focus on everybody else personally than care about myself, which a lot of people say is really bad.
Why is it bad?
Because that's why, that's why people get sad. That's why people get sick. It's just, I don't know, it leads up for depression and all the sad stuff.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Matt?
For me, it's kind of a 50-50 thing. And it's really interesting because my mood about how I feel about myself is largely influenced by the people who surround me. If I'm surrounded by people who are generally happy and positive and real go-getters, then I tend to act that way myself. But if I'm surrounded by people who curse the day they were born and who are like Debbie Downers or Derek Downers or whatever the term is, I tend to get that way too. And I mean, it's really, really hard to try to separate yourself from that, to try and get in a positive frame of mind when everyone around you is trying to bring you down.
Are they really trying to bring you down, though?
I don't think they do it intentionally. It's just something that happens.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Josh? Because I can understand where Matt's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of a 50-50 thing. There's 7 days in a week. I'd say about 3 of them I'm absolutely positive. Positive about everything. I'm positive to others, positive about myself. You know, I'm happy with the work that I do, all of that. And then there's probably about 4 of them, or 2 of them at least, let's say, that I'm half and half. You know, I'm good about some things, good about others, you know, not so good about some.
Yeah.
And then there's the 2 days a week, maybe 1 even, that I'm just really down, and I don't even know why. Like, all the week, all throughout the rest of the week, I'm fine, I'm positive, and then I have this 1 day, you know, where I'm really down. I'm grumpy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
It's really sad, though, when you think about it. But for you guys, how do you guys cope with that? How do you guys, like, think positively on that?
Sometimes it's really hard for me, I have to admit, because it's one thing to do it on, like, social media. You could always, like, hide the posts that are, like, really negative, or you could turn off a person's news feed if they're really beating themselves up so that you can separate yourself from that. But if you're in a situation where you can't quite escape from it, like if you're serving somebody has a really nasty disposition, it's really hard to walk away from because you're not really supposed to.
He's talking
so
about
I think it kind of varies.
Oh. What about you, Josh?
I always think about it like there's really nothing I should worry about because I have a shelter over my head, food on my plate. You know, sometimes I have money in my wallet, you know, but there's always somebody that's worse off than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in North America, primarily in, you know, some European countries, that we have a lot more mental things to deal with as opposed to the physical things to deal with, like hunger and sexual diseases and everything like that, and sickness. I mean, we have those things too, but I think that we're primarily influenced mostly by our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's such a stigma about mental health too. I mean, not a lot of people actually like talking about it because of the fact that they see it as such a negative point of their personality that they kind of want to disguise it rather than seek the help they need. I mean, I know I've been there myself. I don't know if anybody else out there can speak for themselves. If you are like that, definitely speak about it on the comments page underneath our video. But I know in my case, I always saw seeking help as kind of a liability as a teenager because it was like admitting a weakness. And looking back on it, I don't understand why I was like that.
I can almost tell you why. Because you think that you're a minority.
Yeah, exactly.
I can almost guarantee you that over 50% of the world's population, at least in North America, is dealing with a mental health issue.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, I think there's a lot more awareness of it now than there was like 10, 15 years ago. So more people are getting out there and speaking out about it, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, for sure. You got anything to share there, Carine?
Can someone just ask me the question so it kind of feels cooler, me answering it?
How do you cope with the negative feelings?
I don't even remember what the question was, to be honest.
I know,
with you.
neither did I. That's why I was like, someone just asked me what it is.
How do you cope with the negative feelings there, Carine?
Well, kind of like what Matt said, you know how you were saying that when you're surrounded by people who are down or something, you become down. Well, I kind of think of it that way, where I go, well, I have to be positive in order to keep everybody else positive. So even though I may not be feeling well, I still put like it's really bad to say, but I kind of put like a second face on, I guess. A two-face. But I make myself positive so that I don't affect other people around me. And really, now that I'm thinking about it, when I'm acting positive around everybody else, in the end, I end up being actually happy, which is...
It rubs off, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Huh.
Or on the flip side, it makes them so angry that you're disturbing their bad mood by being all positive that they get angrier as a result and they walk away and storm off. And
That is true.
Well...
But that's a personal issue. That's something that they need to deal with.
Exactly.
And by they, I mean I've been involved in that day. I mean that's happened to me multiple times.
Same here.
But it doesn't happen to me anymore though, because of the way I look at life. It's gonna sound weird, but life is too short to go through it negative.
YOLO.
Sure is.
Don't say YOLO.
I just did.
Life is too short to go through it thinking negative thoughts, feeling negative about yourself, feeling like crap, all that stuff. Although life is the longest thing that you're ever going to have to endure, why not make it the longest bout of happiness or fun or anything like that? The most positive experience that you can have. I know it's harder, or it's easier said than done. I don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. I definitely do. I mean, there's lots of instances in which being in a bad mood is the easy way out, but sometimes trying to overcome that bad mood is part of the challenge. And there's certainly millions of ways that people overcome that bad mood. So certainly every single one of them is correct in some aspects. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you guys to do something for me. Think about somebody.
It doesn't involve us, like, running down the street naked, does it?
Oh, Lord.
You could do that. We can't show it on YouTube.
No.
But,
no.
maybe I can get, like, that fuzzy stuff. Anyways. Like, put it over the screen or whatever. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
I want you guys to do something. I want you to think of somebody. It could be yourself. Could be one of your friends. Could be somebody famous.
Okay.
That's dealing with depression-like symptoms or depression. And I want you to think of one sentence that you would say to them that would hopefully change their opinion on life or their mood or anything like that.
I got it.
Okay.
All right, so Carine, you have something?
Yeah.
What is it?
You guys are gonna laugh.
Go for it.
First thing that came to mind was be happy because every little thing is gonna be alright. But that's
classic.
I know.
That is a classic. I'm not gonna lie.
It was the first thing that came to mind. Is it good?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. Okay.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was that silly Bobby McFerrin song, "Don't Worry, Be Happy," but I didn't want to
your song lyrics, man.
What's that?
You and your song lyrics.
Well, I didn't want to say it at first because that song annoys me, but...
But music is what the world is right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, that's the way people express themselves.
I like that.
Exactly.
I'm going to use that as a quote on Facebook.
You could.
You better mention me, man.
No, I'm going to use my own name as credit.
What?
Anyway.
It should be like, quote by Carine Goldsmith, or it could have been Bossa. No, I can't even say my own name. What the heck is this?
What I would say to the person, and
what?
this person is a very good friend of mine. What I would say to him is that you need to be the change you want to see in the world. And that's the quote that I live by. I use it for everything. But literally, it applies to everything.
He does.
Very good.
No joke.
It applies to everything. Okay? Like, this guy here, he has a bad mood every once in a while, but he's the most cheery guy I know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not happy. He's cheery. He tries his hardest. He tries his hardest to influence everybody else's life, to make their life better. And he sacrifices his own self-worth for it.
Yeah.
That is the literal definition of be the change you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The figurative definition, in my mind, is you do the same thing, you sacrifice your own self-worth to boost the self-worth of others.
Mm-hmm.
In hopes that the self-worth boosting of them will come back on you.
Mm-hmm.
and you feel better about yourself because you changed somebody else's life.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
the philosophy that I live
That's
by.
deep, Josh.
It is.
I'm
I
just
know
speaking
it's
my
something that
mind.
I've certainly practiced. I
What's
didn't
that?
even know I practiced until I had it reminded just now. Thanks, Josh.
What'd you say?
It's something that I've actually had happen to me. I mean, like, I think everybody generally feels better giving than they do receiving. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
so I guess if you look at it that way, it sort of makes sense.
I would say so.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, it's a pretty
I know at
figurative
Christmas
definition.
I get more joy giving gifts than I do receiving them anyway, so I'm not sure
Same
if I'm the
here.
only one that does, but
No. I'd rather give, and I don't even care if I receive.
yeah, exactly.
No. That's a weird phenomenon, too.
It is.
Yeah.
When you think about it, as humans, like, we're kind of made to take from everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about how our ancestors, we took from the land to make our own roads, because we're selfish. We took from the land to build our houses with logs.
Uh-huh.
We've used trees to make paper.
Mm-hmm.
All to better our own lives, and we screwed over all the animals, and the land, and the environment.
Yeah.
That's weird. Because
I
now...
know there are ways we're fighting back with, like, Earth Day and planting trees, and
That is true.
we're
Today's
trying to
generation
get back
equal.
to the planet.
It doesn't equal nearly as much as what we did.
But
Sadly not.
It's still the change that we want to see.
Yes, for sure, yeah.
And, yeah, if we all operated under that philosophy, could you imagine how different the world would be?
It'd be
Well,
so
exactly.
peaceful.
I mean, we
Well-
even have a program at my workplace that encourages people to live better. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like saving the planet. It could be something personal, like managing your money a little bit better, or going for daily walks, or eating healthier, or quitting smoking. All these things are designed to sustain a person's happiness, living, and I think it's a good program.
And as we talked about in the acceptance episode, if you love yourself or if you better your life, you'll better the lives of others because you
Oh, for
accept
sure.
yourself. That'll affect your self-worth, the reciprocal feeling of the self-worth when you're putting on to others. You know,
Absolutely.
it's all reciprocal.
Yeah.
How do you think that the world feels about self-worth, though? Would you say that it's overall negative, overall positive?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I would say that it's there are some cases in which it can be a negative thing. I mean, if you look at popular culture, there's a lot of emphasis on being skinny. There's a lot of emphasis on looking perfect. There's a lot of emphasis on cosmetic beauty as opposed to inner beauty. And you see that all the time in like magazine ads, makeup commercials, even music videos. But there is happily some challenge to that. I mean, like if you take a company like Dove, for instance, they've come up with like this campaign that helps young women find their inner beauty and start to realize that they can be beautiful regardless of what they look like. And I think it's a great program.
That's a very great program, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's overwhelmingly negative in some aspects, but I think the media is coming up with ways to try and fight back against that negativity and changing the way we all feel about ourselves in the process.
That's good. I would agree that it's all negative, too. And I'm thinking more along the lines of gossip in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the music industry also. Like, when you hear about a celebrity, it's not usually positive. You know, Justin Bieber's constantly in the news right now, for example. You know, he's constantly committing these crimes. That rubs off on other youth. And when they get in trouble, they're not feeling too good about themselves. But, oh, Justin Bieber did it. He's going to rehab. He's going to get out of jail the next day.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that every time I watch a segment of Entertainment Tonight, a little piece of me dies on the inside.
Well, that's good.
Well, it really does. I mean, like, all they focus on is, like, celebrity gossip and stuff that we really shouldn't care about, but...
You're serious,
But we
aren't
do.
you?
I am. I really am.
I don't understand that. Why do we care?
I don't know.
I
don't.
Why do we let the lives of other
maybe
people...
for a negative-minded person, it gives them some justification in knowing that even people who are rich and famous are capable of screwing up worse than they are.
That is true.
Yeah.
But my question is, why do we let the lives of others influence our lives as much as we do?
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I was never really one to follow the latest trend, so I'm really no help on that one.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Maybe one of our viewers can help with that.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, I couldn't follow the trends because I couldn't afford the trends, but that's just my excuse right there.
Yeah. And then we have people like Macklemore, getting back to the music industry, who is doing his hardest and his best work to change the view of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like Same Love.
Yeah, that's a good example right there.
That is a really influential song.
Yeah.
And I'll even put the link to it in the description if I remember.
Yeah, did you happen to catch, like, the performance of that song at the Grammy Awards that aired a couple months ago?
Yes.
Where they were singing the song and they had, like, all these couples exchanging vows. I mean, some were same-sex couples, some were couples of different religions. I mean, it was just a sight to behold.
That, in itself, is what brings up the self-worth of people who identify with those people.
Oh, for sure.
Let's say you're gay or you're lesbian. You see that on TV, you're like, holy crap, there are people on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're not a minority anymore.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right on that.
Huh. What about you, Carine?
I'm just kind of baffled. This is all just kind of, I don't know. It's so deep and it's so like.
But that's what self-worth is. It's like looking deep inside you to try and understand yourself a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that's where the true emotions come.
Mm-hmm.
It's magical.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Other times it's horrible.
Oh, yeah, well, once again, positive me over here.
But I think sometimes you have to, like, get through the bad times in order to appreciate the good times a little bit more. I mean, certainly in my experience, I've had enough bad times to last a lifetime, but whenever something good happens, it just makes me appreciate it a lot more than somebody else who may not have had so many negative experiences.
Once again, Matt, I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah.
I got two things.
Yes.
One, when Matt was saying that, I kind of thought of another quote, and it just happens to be by Justin Bieber.
Aha.
And it's not Baby.
It's not Baby 8 times? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Justin Bieber anyway. It's, the grass is greener on the other side. I know he used it in a song anyway. I don't think that he wrote the quote, but...
Mm-hmm.
The grass is always greener on the other side. When you think about that, you don't really appreciate what you do have, right? Because you're letting the lives of others influence you so much. You're bringing down your own self-worth.
Yeah.
If you cherish the things that you do have, like health and everything like that, you know that you're healthy. You know you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to have food on your plate. If you go back to the basics, the basic survival, and you just feel good about life that way, your self-worth is going to improve.
Yeah, because for some people, they don't even have that as a luxury.
Unfortunately not.
No.
This is kind of a topic breaker here for a second, but ladies and gents, just so you guys know, Josh listens to Justin Bieber, and he just proved it, so just thought I'd bring that up. It's kind of...
And that's okay.
You know what?
Yes, it is, but...
You know what? Let me defend myself here.
No, you're not allowed.
Oh, here we go.
I listen to 96.7, Yes FM, and if he happens to be on, I am going to be honest here, I don't turn it off.
Yeah, I go ahead and sing along, don't worry.
Well, I
I'm
don't
just trying
sing
to be
along
funny.
with it, but...
Oh.
Yeah, you know, him and One Direction, they're not even bad. I'm okay with them.
Nope, I agree. Well, I really like One Direction, but...
Yeah, you
I
and my
also
sister
like
both, but
one
we're not going to
song
get into
from
that.
One Direction, but the one song I have heard is All Right With Me.
What were you saying, Josh?
I said you and my sister both really like One Direction, but we're not going to get into that.
No,
Yeah.
I grew up during the Backstreet Boys NSYNC era because I'm a little bit older, so...
Yeah? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, at the time, they weren't really my type of music. I actually kind of tended to listen to more depressing songs because that was how I felt during my entire high school period. But looking back on it now, I can see that both of them got to where they wanted to be. I mean, it certainly made a start at Justin Timberlake, who was in NSYNC, and now he's like a big-time movie/singer, so...
Yep.
Speaking of the Backstreet Boys, the other day I was in the car and Backstreet Boys came on, and it's funny because I haven't heard them in forever and I still knew every single word to their song. And it was weird.
Nice.
They never really sang any depressing songs either. Their songs were mostly positive.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Well, maybe not Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely, but...
Yeah.
How do we feel that adults affect self-worth?
Ah.
First of all, do they think more positively than you? Second, how does their mood influence the mood of youth?
I think they
it's a
set
lot of
an
pressure.
example.
Oh, we got
What?
opposites here.
Well, that's good, though.
Okay, Carine, you go first.
Okay, well, I think parents kind of put pressure on kids too. I recently witnessed something where the parent was trying to put how they are on their kid, making the kid feel like, wow, I'm not even, good enough. I have to be like my parent, or, kind of like that. So to me, I see it as parents put a lot of pressure on kids, making kids feel like they have to be like their parents and not have a identity of their own type thing.
Yeah, it's certainly
If that
true in
makes
like different
any sense.
cultures anyway. Like if you take a look at some of the Asian countries, there's a phenomenon known as tiger parenting, where the parents basically choose what activities they go to, enroll them in almost any single activity they want, and they try to make their child the best at everything. And sometimes it works out just great, but sometimes it doesn't, and it really all depends on the personality of the child, really.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I hope what I said made sense, though.
Yeah.
It did.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. I just had something to say. I forget what it is.
Think, Josh, think.
Oh, yeah. The only person that is in control of you is you.
Yipper.
Okay? If you don't want to do something, or you know that something is going to affect you in a negative way, don't do it.
Exactly. Just say no.
There are, some things that we do have to do. Like, we have to go to work. And if you really don't like the retail business, but you have a job there, that's the only thing you can do to get money, go for it. You're going to be upset when you're at work, but leave that at the door. When you walk in your house, you are the most positive person in the world, because first of all, you don't have to work anymore. Second of all, you can do whatever the heck you want. Don't let the bad mood that you get from work affect you at home, or vice versa if you really like your job. There's always that positive aspect in life, and you just gotta find it, and you gotta chase it.
Yeah. And some of us need to be reminded of that.
Yep, sometimes.
Sometimes. I know.
more than
I know.
once.
Sometimes I do. Anyway, but at least I own up to it.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody on the face of this earth that is positive all the time.
I try to be, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Well, there's always people that try to be, but there's always those moments in life where you're just like,
Yep.
I hate everything. Sometimes we don't
What?
vocalize it.
No one has those moments. What are you talking about?
I just had one of those moments like not too long ago. So yes, they do happen more often than you think.
Me too.
I have two more questions.
What? Yes.
The
Go.
first one is, what is self-care?
Ooh, making
It's a
sure
scary
that you
word.
make the right making sure that you make the right decisions that are best for you.
Okay, Corinne?
By you, I mean me, or
What?
her, or him, or I'm trying to define the word "you." So that
Making the correct decisions that is going to affect you in the most positive way.
yes, that's it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. Okay, Corinne, what do you think? We pretty much have a whole course on it. Just saying.
I should
We
take
what?
that.
We pretty much have a whole course on it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I should take the course.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Can I just skip that question?
No.
No.
Ah, come on, guys.
Just tell us what it is.
I answered it and I flubbed it up completely, so how much worse could you be?
Oh, a lot worse.
Do you want me to go?
What?
Do you want me to go?
Yes, please, go.
I think that self-worth, or self-care, I think that self-care is basically like this. Life empties you out. Okay? Everything you do, you put everything into your life, you put everything into work, your home life, your social life, your popularity, everything like that, the activities you choose to do. That all empties you out. Self-care is what you do, the one thing or the two things that you do for yourself on a regular basis that fills you back up, allows you to keep going.
Yeah, that sums it right up. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, like, there are some instances in which I felt like, oh my God, this is just gonna drag on and on. I don't know what to do. I can't figure out what I'm gonna do, so I just want to hide in bed all day. But sometimes you have those days. But what keeps you going is knowing that tomorrow is always the possibility of a better one.
And just leave everything at the door. And when you come into your house, just like take a moment and say, what do I want to do? Instead of focusing on work or school or other people, just go, what do I want to do? And for some instances, focus on your hobbies. Like for me, let's say I'll draw. And then bam, I'm okay again.
Yep, I do my writing every day.
Exactly.
And I write music. That was actually going to be my next question. You know, what do you guys do to fill yourselves back up?
Oh, well, there you go.
So Corinne draws, Matt writes, and I write music.
I sing.
Yeah, well.
If we teamed up together, we'd be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
that is
awesome.
true.
I could write the lyrics, Corinne could sing them, and Josh could play the background music.
And Josh can rap.
We could start a band, only I would not sing.
We could call it Motive2Change 2.0.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, viewers, what do you guys think?
Do you want us to actually do a band so we can compete with Justin Bieber on the charts? If so, let us know.
We would rock on.
Okay.
Just don't ask me to do a music video because I look horrible on camera.
On that note, let's move on to the fun fact of the day.
Ooh, all right. Well, I think we're going to wait until we all stop laughing because we're all having too much fun.
Go for
it. Anyway, today's fun fact is brought to you by chocolate. And the reason why I say it's brought to you by chocolate is because chocolate is one of those things that temporarily puts you on like a high. I mean, surely anybody who's ever eaten chocolate has certainly felt a little bit of happiness. I know I certainly feel that way whenever I eat chocolate.
That's an obvious right there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I tried to do a fun fact that had to do with chocolate just to go along with the whole feeling good about yourself type thing. And I'm just going to let you guys guess first. How big do you think the largest chocolate bar ever made was?
Big.
300 pounds.
300 pounds?
Yeah.
Not even close.
1 million pounds.
A ton.
Well, the actual correct answer is on October 7th, 2011, in Derbyshire, United Kingdom, The largest chocolate bar made weighed in at a whopping 12,770 pounds.
Figures it's
My
in
jaw
England.
just dropped.
That would be like a lot of zits.
That's a lot of chocolate, guys.
13 feet by 13 feet.
I'm in heaven.
How thick?
I wasn't able to find that information out, unfortunately, but
That's
if
Who cares?
insane.
it's 12,000 pounds, I would think it would be huge.
Yeah.
I was in a placement today, and one of the students, they're making a commercial, and they decided to make a chocolate bar that just regenerates itself. So it just keeps growing. Like you eat a piece, and on the end, it just grows back.
Where can I get this chocolate bar? I want it now.
I know.
But yeah, that's my fun fact of the day.
I
Nice.
like it.
Just don't eat too much chocolate,
Yeah.
because as I said, you'll get zits.
Moving on to the quote of the day.
Guys, want to give me a drum roll? I don't know if that sounded as bad as it did on my end, but
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing gym shorts, so I didn't really have anything hard to do a drum roll on. So I apologize for that.
that's all good. Oh, that one was good. Okay. Drum roll, please. Thank you. All right, so I have a quote. It's long, so bear with me. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This quote is by the famous Buddha.
Very
Ta-da!
nice.
Anna?
Very nice.
Why did you choose that quote?
Well, because I really liked it.
That's a good reason.
It focused on loving yourself, which is what I talked about at the beginning of this episode.
This is true. That's a very inspiring quote.
Yep.
That's why I chose it. That's exactly why. So.
Now that's deep. On that note, we're going to end the episode. We
Yes,
want to
we are.
thank you for watching.
Yeah, please
Thank
tune in
you.
again.
Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And
Yes,
share.
please like us. Please
Yes.
love us even if you want to.
We need friends. Please like us.
Improve our
right.
self-worth by
We're not
improving
begging
yours
for
by clicking
likes.
on this like symbol.
Yes.
We're not begging for likes. If you do like the episode, feel free to like it if you want to. Otherwise, just come back for the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Goodbye.